that I'm starting is, more of a rant than anything else. Things I like and dislike about Cyberpunk 2077. Right now, I'm on an older save file to show you the skill tree, and I feel that this game had so much more diversity and character customization. Like I said, this is an older save file. It's not updated to the 2.1 update. I have played both, and what I find is that the old perk system actually gave you more diverse character building. Even though there are, like, people are saying there are like just percentages and passes and stuff. As you can see, there for the body, um, there's the athletics, annihilations, and all this. So each perk tree has sub perk trees that you can specialize into. Like annihilations is like shotgun and all this other stuff. So, and on top of that, you can choose on how heavily you want to spec into whatever subgenre. Like you see handguns, blades, like you can actually pick and choose. You weren't, forced to play a certain way due to a certain thing. You can play your way with this older perk tree. Um, and I don't understand. Personally, I don't understand why the perk tree was, changed. And then also, crafting and engineering are also two major parts of my playthrough, my first playthrough. Um, and this is actually an older gen, so the graphics quality might not be as up to par when I swap over to the new gen save that is completely up to date. As you can see, um, all this other stuff, and what was and cool as well, like cool's ninjutsu, silence weapons, increased, damage, panther, all these perks in these old in the old perk tree. You actually have to, what I feel is one of the best things is you have to read and like look at what perk does what, so that they say this cold tree and ninjutsu and all this may have something that synergizes with something in body. Reduce fall damage, do all this, increase stamina, like things that like um, are street broader. You have a bunch of things that you have to look and figure out yourself on what synergistic abilities. And then for intelligence, like right here, passive mass vulnerability, I believe it was taken out of the new patch, which was, I was playing on hard my first playthrough. This was, a really good thing to have. It made enemies not too much weaker, but, more susceptible to your damage. Ice pick is, it's still um, I think present, different perks. However, I feel like they took away a lot of these perks in in the newer one, and like for quick hacking, edge runner run, they took away this one. This thing, the spy ability, was one I used a lot because I would try to play this game highly stealthily and hack, and having the enemy net runners that are hacking you be revealed to you so that you can neutralize them, so your reveal timer wouldn't um, be, you wouldn't be revealed. It no longer seems to be the case in the new game. You're kind of like forced to play this hack and slash. You can you'll see what I'm talking about once I switch over to all the. I'm just scrolling through all these so you can see like how um, these perks. And another thing is like I said, there'll be attribute points. You see how you see five, threes, or these will be attribute points. And if you get to a certain attribute, you'll be able to hit some of these locks. As you can see, it says like seven on there, like on the bottom. So that are the attribute that you would need for those things. Um, so but you weren't forced to start from the bottom and work your way up. You're able to pick and choose on what you want to heavily think. Another aspect that I freaking figured was what clothing actually had armor values in the older one, which I feel makes sense. It's 2023. They're making bulletproof freaking sweaters. What. and then you have, perks. You had, if you go here, you had mods, and then you would click the mods, and your mods would either be like, you'll sneak more, or more damage reduction, or uh, which one? My favorite one was that you made no noise while you were running. Like I said, it was a mod, um, and I feel like with when you're able to look at these clothing options and they were actually your armor, and you would actually more custom tailor your character to your specific playstyle. If you are going more guns blazing, you will get more armor, or you'll go for something that will give you more critical chance, or stuff like that. I know some face pieces mods would allow you to increase your damage by crit using certain weapons like tech weapons, and like the different weapon types. Another thing that I really did enjoy about this game is that your health packs were disposable and not on a cooldown, meaning you could stack up by crafting them. And then the same thing for grenades. Don't understand why that's on cooldown now. And then the throwing knives, I do agree with the changes that they made that you're able to recover them in the newer one. Whereas the old one, it was you had to hope and pray that you know that it would be recoverable. Um, like I said, I played around. This character is my second kind of playthrough. My first playthrough was when this game first released on the PS4. It had its bugs, but it had its charm. But it was just visual bugs, or like maybe some loading times here and there. It was an older gen, but I believe it was a great game at launch. It's a hot take, I know, but like a lot of games that are still buggy to this day that people claim, I name one, Skyrim. CD Projekt Red, I do feel that from making this an RPG into a first person, that you're not able to play it the way you want. I feel like they messed up. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, you don't um uh, like you had a build that was overpowered." No, I didn't have a build that was overpowered at all. I would play on hard difficulty and still get my ass handed to me if I didn't play smart. Um, and then one of the complaints that CD Projekt Red came out and said was that they're tired of people one-shotting, their bosses. And the new updates, I do appreciate that the boss reworks and all this other stuff. However, I have even on hard at max level, some of the bosses you could now, one shot, which I don't understand why they're complaining. The only times I was able to do one shots were playing on the normal or easy difficulty. That might just be me because, like I said, I was more into like hacking and all this other stuff. But what really hurts me is the fact that you're able to actually customize your character in the old system to fit your specific playstyle and what weapon type you wanted to specialize in, which is no longer the case. Um, like this is the Annihilationist shotgun, which I believe that's body, and then reflexes is assault rifles, handguns, and your blades. Like I said, like I said, all these tabs actually gave you a purpose on building your character. You built your character was not a uh, here's this, go here, do this, do that. Your character was literally your mind, and like you were thinking about what build you wanted to play exactly the way you wanted. Um, like you got the handgun specialization, engineering, I believe is like grenades and all this other stuff, and intelligence is your quick hacks, like hacking the enemies and stuff. And the revamp, I truly feel, um, took away the value of building a character the way you wanted to, and it forces you to play in a way that you're what's the word? Um, it got really dumbed down, and like if you go from this system to the new system, it really feels that they took away from the aspects of the RPG and just made it a first person shooter with, you know, perks that aren't necessarily to your liking that you're forced to take, which takes away from the cyberpunk aesthetic, in my opinion, because each person in the cyberpunk world would know exactly what they would want to install in their body, Chrome, um, and like this is like a really old save file, um, so uh, I don't have much on this, but I'm going to swap over to the new character tree and everything, and show you that the cooldowns and whatnot in the new game, and why I would show you um like the grenades and all this other stuff, but I would have to play on this save file for a while. This is more of a rant. Oh, I'll might do a playthrough on this save file without the updates, um, just to get more video evidence and stuff like that in the future, but don't expect it in this video. All right. Uh, so uh, a quick pause for you and another. All right, now that I'm on the next gen version that I have more playtime on, that's not an older save before the updates, were implemented. I'm gonna show you exactly what I mean about the skill tree. Like I said, okay, so what they kept from the old skill tree to the new is the level requirements that you need for certain perks. Like you see, this has the 10 to cool, 9 to technical abilities, 6 to yeah. So those are your core attributes. You know, and you got perk points after, like body, and as you can see, there is no longer um, weapon specialization that's up front. You would have how this was always in the game as well. Had to That came over as well, but this these perks seem to be just a fuse of just stuff that you had in the past. Um, and you can't really pick and choose. Like I said, you have to start from the bottom and work your way up. Um, but you had like here requires body level 20 would be the max. This would you need 15 just to get up to here. Let's see if I can like wrecking ball. So just blunt weapons, you know, and then these perks, as you can see, um, really the body really just pain the gain, adrenaline and rush, and then I believe this one is the one that affects your weapon types for shotguns, LMGs, HMGs. I believe HMGs heavy machine guns. Um, Again, as you see, like if you had to fully spec into your body to I don't know why there's light machine guns and heavy machine guns, but I understand. Um, as you can see, the you're forced to choose a set of weapons instead of specializing on the weapons that you may want to specialize in. They took a lot of customizability. I do love this stun jockey perk. It gave you more of a way to play the game. I don't really have anything in my reflexes. Um, So my perks are not there. Like I said, assault rifles, SMGs would be in your reflexes. Like there's, as you said, like I see, this just seems so lackluster compared to the old system. It just seems like you're forced to play a certain way when the other game you're able to customize your your play style to an exact T. Like they really dumbed it down and really made you play the game in a way that best suits a certain play style instead of having a hybrid play style or a customization to an individual. So a lot of new content and replayability is no longer in the game, in my opinion. Again, this is a highly opinionated video. Um, like I said, I loved the game when it was, on release. I found it had its bugs, it had its issues, but it had its charm at most. Um, and like with most games, each game has an issue here and there coming these days. But this was a new IP, something that was not really, out there, and on top of that, they were switching from an older gen to a next gen, and they're building the game from the ground up, um, which a lot of people don't take to account. With this update, I really do feel CD Projekt Red really nerfed the replayability, especially the fact that it doesn't seem like they plan on adding New Game Plus. So the replayability of this game has significantly died down. Um, like the Edge Runner, okay, good, cool, cool. Like there, I don't know, like the build like building building your perk trees or building your character no longer feels like it's your choice. It feels more like it's the game's choice. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Then there's, cool that, they keep, you know, this, just the stuff, Killer Instinct, you know, like I said, they kept some of the perks when some of the perks are, you know, put together or emerged in a way um, that makes sense to but this optical camo was actually a mod that you're able to get from a Ripper. It's no which is no longer the case that I couldn't find the Ripper in this playthrough that I have. And like I said, the cool attributes, what's it? See, my first playthrough ever, I was more of a rifle, like assault rifle and a pistol person. But you see what I mean by like it makes you not specialize. It makes you play the game how they see fit. Um, like I said, you can no longer specialize on the weapons that you actually want to specialize. They put the pistol, revolvers, precision rifles, and sniper rifles all in the same category, and whereas the old one you were able to go to them individually and spec into them and did not have to heavily invest in any one thing, whereas this new system you have to heavily invest in one thing, which takes away from the charm of the cyberpunk world, because people are going to be different from person to person, especially when it comes to modding their own body. um, And this perk Overclock is new. Takes your health and stuff like that. Um, but like again, spillover was actually an innate thing for some quick hacks, like for the toxin one and the eyesight and the hearing was already innate, but it had a very small like radius. I think it was like 3 meters, 4 meters, maybe 5 meters. The reason I say meters is because it literally would be like 3M, 5M. I'm not sure if it's millimeters or something. I'm listening to metric system. I'm American. It metric system makes more sense, but I have to get accustomed to it. Again, acceleration. Again, like I said, the customization does not feel as robust as it once did. Um, and just tells you the title right here. Like I said, there's the perk that the spy perk is no longer in the game, and it was one of the best things to have for a stealth build. But there's this counter hack when the target of the enemy network can hack them back through walls and it's not the same. It is not the same. And literally, I'm not gonna lie, I played like 16 hours trying to get used to this lackluster skill tree, um, and it just felt like I was coping with the game. Like a game that's been being updated for 3 years now should not have revert. I don't have never seen somebody complain about the skill tree at all. I've I even did a research like for a couple days trying to see, scouring the internet, Reddit, and all this other stuff, and like old videos to see if anybody was critiquing the old, skill tree. And there were probably, from what I was able to gather, there was more people who liked the old skill tree more than the people who did not like the old skill tree. Um, Found like one or two videos critiquing like just certain perks or whatever that what they would like to have. But there wasn't anybody asking for an entire revision or a dumbed down version of the skill tree, because literally the old one, I'm sorry, I'm repeating myself, but I'm very passionate about this. The old one gave you a sense that you're building your character. This makes you feel like you're forced to play a certain way. There's no custom build. There's no thought into building it your way completely. Um, and like I said, uh, now I'm gonna hopefully I'm just gonna go here front just to show you. Okay, so the heals, you see it has like two and two for the grenade. So my heals, if I go up, it goes one, and then there's a cooldown. There's no longer ways to spam it. And another, okay, this is gonna be grenade. And you see this, you see that fucking line? This was not in the old one. This was never shown. This was actually an engineering perk where it'll show you where your grenade will land and the blast radius. Like I said, they made a lot of things innate. Thing that bothers me most is when I change grenades, it's still on cooldown. Why is it that when I use a regular grenade that my
Hey, Judy,
EMPs are
what's
on
up?
cooldown?
Hey,
That makes no
can you
sense to
come
me.
over stat?
Grenades were,
Something happened?
Yeah.
like I said, grenades um, are supposed to be disposable. Like you throw them one and done. It doesn't make sense that they're on a cooldown. Um, and they were I used them in my hard playthroughs as utility. They didn't really do much damage in hard mode, but they did knock bosses or group of enemies on their ass, because on hard mode they would ping you from across the map. So knocking them on your ass gave you a little bit breathing room to heal up. But I'm this Naro playthrough just feels so like I put it on easy. Like the difficulty of this game no longer is there. There's no aha, I need to think this shit through. It's literally hack and slash now. Let me go uh, to the inventory. No, there are no longer mods. uh, for your weapons. I mean mods for your clothing, which your clothing is no longer your armor, is just aesthetic now, which I feel is one of the downsides, because one of the joys of the game for me personally was literally seeing what mods were on certain clothing, and they already implemented a thing called outfits where you're able to cosmetically change your appearance, however keeping the same gear that you had, and one of the updates in the older system. Um, let me see if I can. Is it backpack? No, I can't remember. I just know. Oh, not clothing, but there's a way to have like actual. Yeah, there we go. Wardrobe. As you can see, you could change. There was like stuff like and that would change the way you would look. You would go to your apartment, make a custom wardrobe, and that was that. But you would still have the mods and stuff like that. Again, don't know why they decided to opt for cooldowns instead of them being one shot when used. It gave the game more of an urgency and made you feel that you you had to prepare for fights. You couldn't just go in and hope for the best. Um, and then the hack, stuff like this. Um, these are your quick hacks. You're able before you're able to craft. Like the crafting now is no longer really crafting. They really dumbed it down. Like you don't really craft much. Uh, like I said, I was heavy in crafting in this game when it first came out. Um, get this part, make this part even stronger. Never mind that. Like it was. I feel like there was so much more replayability in the older systems that they implemented. Um, but I will say they did make some good changes. Like the revisions of the boss fights is really good. The random occurrences you can have if you mess with a certain gang, or like you get I think a notori when you become notorious for certain gangs, they'll try like jumping you like when you're driving around the world, so you'll get in random car chases. Practically, people got beef with you and they want to settle it. It's either you die or they die. And it's like a good like a car chase, like action movie scene, and it like really amps up the game. Um, the AI is still kind of stupid, but it for the cars and stuff, which I don't think is gonna get changed anytime soon. And I might be dogging on this game. This game, if you weren't subjected to the old like perk system, you would have really enjoy. You're gonna really enjoy the game. These are just my opinions. I feel like CD Projekt Red is going backwards um, on like the player longevity, like I guess a game's longevity in the players' eyes. Um, Let me go to. Hold on, it's not crafting. It's stats, not that. Cyberware. So what they did for the armor in this now, this would be your cybernetic capacity. Now for armor, they put it in your cybernetic, like your chrome, which I have mixed feelings for. Like it makes sense, but to a degree, it doesn't. I feel like the clothing made more sense because not everybody in the cyberpunk universe is going to have entirely metallic bodies, or like, cybernetic, um it's called completely cybernetic enhancements, where they're cyborgs. So they might have like an eye, a hand, but they're not going to be completely cybernetic. So the having the armor system just be here just kind of takes away from the immersion of the game. Um, I hope it makes sense. This was just my rant video. Um, CD Projekt Red did a lot of good changes. However, of my personal opinion, may be differing from a lot of people. This was just a video that I made because I didn't see any comparisons of like the old perk system to the new perk system, so I figured I would make it myself. And I hope I was able to justify the reason why I liked the old perk system compared to the new perk system. And that's just and I hope y'all are able to discuss why y'all like the new perk system to the new perk system in the comments below. It's just a discussion, and everybody is open to their opinions. And I would love to see the interaction on this video. And I know I've talked way too fucking much. And I hope, again, I appreciate y'all taking the time out of your day to watch this video. And I thank you so much for letting me rant and having y'all listen.